Welcome to Wilson's channel.
What's up, guys? To whoever comes across this video, maybe you're a fan of the series You. I'm just a random dude named Wilson who's gonna be covering or expressing my thoughts about You Season 4. I'm pretty big onto like TV series and shows. You is definitely really interesting to me. Alright, so basically for this video, I'm gonna be just expressing my thoughts. Just strictly like my own opinion about Season 4, so there will be spoilers if you haven't watched already. This is a warning. If you guys are totally cool with just listening to a random guy talk about You Season 4 or just like sharing what he has to say, then this is the video for you. And this is something that I can look back on in the future just to kind of gauge where my mind was at. Alright, no preparation whatsoever, let's get right into this. So I always thought that You was such an interesting show because we mostly get like a point of view of like a serial killer, Joel Goldberg, this season Jonathan Moore, and how he's trying to fit into society now in London. I thought the first half of season 4 was cool, like very unique. The fact that there's another serial killer out there who's killing the rich, who's basically causing a lot of stress for Joe because the person knows Joe's identity, has like a lot of dirt on him, and it's driving him insane. So as like an audience member going through like this entire first part, it was pretty cool to try to guess like a murder mystery thing, try to guess who the serial killer is. Kind of reminds me of like the movies Knives Out. It's like you know exactly like who it could possibly be based on like the list of people in front, like written down or something, or that you're keeping track of, and then bam, it comes down to being Reese Montrose, or that's what we thought. Part 1. I thought that was pretty straightforward. Like by the end of the 5th episode, The Fox and the Hound, it just showed straight up that Reese was the one. And then that gave me like the mindset that season 2 would just be like Joe trying to take down Reese. It felt, I don't know, it just felt too simple. You know, like the direction of where the show was going. It kind of gave me like Dexter vibes. If you guys have ever seen Dexter, where it's also a serial killer main character. One of the seasons, I believe it was also season 4, where he went up against the Trinity killer. So it was like serial killer versus serial killer. They both know of each other and they're just trying to take each other down. So this is what like it reminded me of, like the setup for part 2. I was a little bit confused as to why Marianne wasn't really around in the show. It was just like a wild goose chase of Joe trying to figure out who the serial killer is, and he's just trying to get himself out of trouble, starting with the death of like all the rich folks, and then him having a thing with Kay, but then just trying not to get attached to her because she could get harmed in this like situation. Yeah, so it was like a build up, I guess, just to set things up for part 2. But then part 2 is where everything went like, wow, what a twist. Props to the producers, directors, all of them folks. It's crazy to think like the big reveal, the twist was that Joe had a psychotic break and is having like some sort of dissociative identity disorder. So this whole time they led the viewers to believe that Marianne was like out free, living her best life with her daughter Juliet or something. But no, Joe kidnapped her and there was a freaking cage. Like he had like a secret cage again stored somewhere. I didn't expect that. And then it turns out that Reese was just all up in Joe's head. He's never even really had like multiple conversations with the guy or didn't even really know him, but he was a fan. So that was a twist. Like when he ended up going to his home to kill Reese, I was so confused when Reese like didn't recognize him or anything. And then the ball torture or whatever he did, my mind was just like, wait, what's happening? And then as soon as he kills Reese, the Reese that's in his mind pops out. And I'm just like, wait, what? Does he have a twin brother or something? I'm so lost. Or was that not him? My mind started playing games with me too. And it all made sense. Like once you learn that it's been him the whole time and there's like a split personality disorder, it really did make sense. When you think back to part 1 and you see all these hints, like every time he goes up to Reese or to have a conversation with him, it would just be like the two of the men. No one really around to like listen in on the conversation. Except for that one time they were at the house, Phoebe's house or something, I forgot what it's called, where they were having a conversation at the dinner table and then Adam basically asked, like made a gesture try to see what Joe was saying. I thought that was weird. That was probably like the biggest indicator for me. I was just like, why is he eavesdropping into their conversation? But then no, it was Joe having conversation with himself. So, and then it was kind of suspicious when Reese didn't really show up to Phoebe's little getaway thing. That made me suspicious that it could possibly be Reese. And then, wow, it turns out it was just Joe this entire time. But basically how things panned out. The fact that like Joe was just so split with who he is. He really wanted to believe that he wasn't like a bad person or anything. And as a viewer, I feel like this whole time it's so weird. Like I've been rooting for him as well. It's crazy. Like I've been trying to make sure, or like I've had the thought that I would want him to just stop and be a good guy and find that love that he quote unquote deserves. He has Kate right there and everything's good. That's exactly what his like alter ego was saying, like the Reese or split personality. But no, he wanted to make things right with Marianne. And then at the end of it all, like quite the reveal, he banged his head. He just lost that part of himself. He was so split. And then to finally accept it at the end, we're skipping ahead. There's a lot because this is just my thought process. That's wild. He ended up killing Tom Lockwood. I like how that played out, where Kate's father had a significant role, more so that he would step into the show and would need to be taken down because like he had so much control over her life. You know, it's like, wow, the fact that Tom basically looked at Joe and said we're the same for Kate, you could argue that that's true. But Kate is like has held them both close somehow, even though she didn't really want her father. And now that she's inherited all of her father's assets and stuff, man, they are a power couple. I know that Joe wanted to commit suicide by jumping off the bridge. It didn't work out, but everything felt like resulted in the best, or like ended up being the best for him because he woke up to Kate and she fully accepts him. It was weird because it's very similar to like Love Quinn. Like when they first met, they connected like so well, and I wanted them to be together, and then like it felt like she really connected with him or Joe, and it felt like they would work out despite him being like a serial killer and everything. And then bam, it turns out it's because love is crazy and has killed people. And then this time around, Kate is just like so accepting of who he is. She just wants to like move forward, and she wants them to make each other do good, like keep each other good. And he's just like all for it. He's finally accepted his like evil side. He has so much resources because of Kate. He's able to go back to New York. He's fixing his image again. He's able to be Joe Goldberg. So like back to the beginning, he shaved and everything, and that was crazy to see. Like the smirk that he has. He knows he has so many resources to be able to kill more, and he's accepted that he's a killer, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to stop anyone who gets in his way. I'm glad that Marianne was able to escape. Pretty wild what she's been through. Huge shout outs to Nadia, but damn, Nadia got screwed over so bad. Poor Edward. Nadia kind of reminded me of, there's always like those one characters that kind of starts noticing things and they become like little side detectives. I guess you could say that that was the same for Guinevere Beck in the first season. She started catching on and then she died. And then was it Delilah? I think Delilah started catching on. I may be wrong, in season 2. And then I forgot. I think it was Love who killed Delilah. But yeah, basically a horrible ending for Nadia. That was so sad. Like Joe showed his true colors and was just like, you can't do anything about it. No one's gonna believe you. Yeah, she got screwed over, but it's good to know that she's still alive, because then Marianne, even Ellie from season 2, Nadia, and probably more and more people could like try to take down Joe in season 5. Well, speaking of like Beck and Love, it was really cool to have like their guest appearance while he was just going through like a psychotic break. Joe trying to like absorb all of that information, probably feeling guilty, part of him. But it's like, damn, as a viewer, I've been trying to root for him this whole time. And I could see why a lot of people are just like, no, that's wrong. Like, we should want the worst for him. It's just reminding me of Dexter again, like the series before. Although Dexter was like a serial killer, he had his own moral code and his own specific ethics. And I also wanted the best for him because he was like the main character and stuff. But yeah, this is very similar. Joe Goldberg. But now I can accept that he's a shitty human being and he's horrible. But he deserves to go down. I assume season 5 is gonna be a roller coaster. Him and Kate are probably not gonna work out. I don't know. Kate's probably just gonna have to come to a realization that he is not good because she is somewhat blindsided, in my opinion. Although she's very accepting. But hey, like, what if she finds out that her ex-boyfriend was killed by Joe? I feel like that has to be a huge reveal to like make her open her eyes and come to realize that he ain't it. There's also a lot of other characters I'm probably not even going to mention, but others that I do want to touch up on is Phoebe. So sad. Definitely have been used and people have taken advantage of her. But I'm glad that she's finally doing what she wants to do. And that's what, like, teaching kids in Thailand, I think. That's what it was. Not what I expected, but happy for her. Nice little ending. Yeah, Adam, damn, he spiraled out and he got punished pretty bad because of Kate's father. I know they were kind of like main-ish, side-ish characters that brought like something to the table for the show. Well, no happy ending for them. Overall, pretty awesome season. Just because like it felt very simple, but yet it was very complex, and I feel like they added a lot of details to it. Like the fact that it was kind of like Joe saying goodbye to Jonathan Moore and finally accepting himself again and realizing who he is, like to lead up to like a season 5. I think that is really phenomenal. There was like a lot of reminders of like who Joe is and how he works, you know, having the cage, having the box of like all his victims' belongings and personal items, him looking like himself from season 1 again by the end with Kate during the interview. Like, dang. I don't know, it just hits different when you see him with and without the beard or the facial hair. Yeah, this man's evil. Alright, looking forward to season 5 next year or so. I know I've been rambling and going off tangents like just all over the place, but that's just my like little thought process for you season 4. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Maybe next time I could break it down episode by episode rather than doing a whole season, but who knows? We'll see. This is just for fun. Alright, have a good one. Bye guys.